Seb's channel, Weightlifting House, Sika Strength, or my channel. That is exactly what we are dealing with. 100%. All right, guys, so the subreddit is taking off. Right now there's 433 members, and it's only been live for 13 hours. So let's just keep this thing growing. The first thing I want to talk about is a discussion post from my editor, Alex. Official coverage of Olympic weightlifting is a joke. Now, I know the guys from Sika Strength have done this already. They've talked about this, Owen and Fitz. The cool thing about what Owen, Fitz, and Seb from Weightlifting House and I have is we have this like triad where we're in constant communication about things. We're going to continue to make content together with each other and, you know, just bolster Olympic weightlifting as much as we can. And my take on all of this is that the Olympics right now, just in general, are kind of like this ethereal thing that we can't really understand. It's just happening, and then we're all just kind of waiting for clips and stuff to show up. It's very elusive. It doesn't feel like the world is stopping and watching, where in prior Olympiads, that's how it's felt. You know, I would come home from whatever sport I was doing over the summer, and then I'd sit down and flip on NBC, and there'd be some sort of primetime thing being replayed or showed. In any of those cases, I don't think in any of the Olympics I've ever watched that I've actually seen an Olympic weightlifting session, live or replay. I may have seen a highlight, but definitely nothing that anyone really cares about. So, regardless of the ease of which it is for us to watch these things live or even replays, which I've found has been very difficult, people are not going to care regardless. That sucks because weightlifting is a sport where you have a ton of hobbyists who are on the cusp of competing and bettering themselves. Like a hobbyist weightlifter can train very, very hard and compete, whereas a hobbyist swimmer, a hobbyist fencer, they might be able to compete. I'm not entirely sure. But it is a sport that is, it deals with the weight room. There are people in Gold's gyms, any other Globo gyms, they're snatching and clean and jerking. So they can automatically relate to the training it takes to be a weightlifter. There aren't many Olympic hobbyist throwers or, many of the other sports. But I digress. The main thing is I have a frustration with my ability to even watch these Olympics. And I've somewhat thrown in the towel, and what I want to do is just wait till all the sessions are finished and watch all of them through that way. So if we go and I look at Watch Olympics 2021, you can go to NBC Olympics, or Peacock. So if I look at NBC Olympics, click on this, and let's just say I want to watch, so these are the top highlights, which I'm not really interested in seeing at all. Okay, so if I want to watch any of these, I need to provide an Olympic or a cable provider. So let's just say Tokyo Olympic coverage, NBC Sports Network. So right here, none of these will work for me. I have Spectrum, but whatever they provide me with is just internet. Okay, so then that's fine. Let's go to Peacock. This is the streaming site for NBC. So I think I've already signed up for this. Yes, I think I have. So here we go. This is what really pisses me off. You ready? Okay, here are all these sports up top here. Browse by sport. Of course, weightlifting's not up there. Of course. More sports. Archery, badminton, baseball, boxing, canoe and kayak, equestrian, fencing, field hockey, handball, judo, karate, rowing, sailing, shooting, sports climbing, surfing, taekwondo, triathlon, weightlifting at the bottom here. Now, obviously, weightlifting's at the bottom because it's a W, so it puts it at the bottom. I'm not saying that but it ends up working out that way because no one cares about it. All that we have here is replays and highlights. Maud Sharon wins gold in the 64 kilo category. Sarah Davies hangs in women's 64 kilo. Quo sets Olympic records. Whatever. Okay? This is all we have for weightlifting. I cannot watch anything on Peacock. Okay? I can't watch anything on Peacock involving weightlifting. So fine, let's go to, there was another option, NBC Olympics. I feel like I'll be able to see things here. Now, this is the same shit. Let's go down to weightlifting, see what we can get. It's all weightlifting highlights. It sucks, but honestly, like, I don't know. It's really frustrating, obviously, but you know, it is what it is. This is the pinnacle of our sport, and yet it's very, very difficult. If we look at some of the other, things here, I wasn't even able to watch anything live without spending 70 euros on some 3-month subscription somewhere. Really disappointing. On one hand, the committee is complaining about fewer and fewer views. The other hand, a fraction of the content is available in free TV, and almost none of the stuff is viewable when you look for live streams. This is my first game since I started weightlifting back in 2018, so I'm extremely disappointed that outside of a couple clips on Instagram, I haven't gotten to see any of these sessions from Tokyo. So that's another thing too. Like, I haven't seen anything on Instagram because the IOC is blocking everything. It makes it really difficult. Like, Seb has to go and talk about all of these sessions, but we can't watch anything. I understand they own the rights, they own all these things, but it's not as readily available. No one is talking about these things. It's like Seb, myself, Owen, and Fitz at Sika Strength, like, we're the ones who are supposed to be reporting to the people. We don't have an ESPN. We don't have, like a local newscast talking about weightlifting. How are people supposed to have their takes on Olympic weightlifting or something that's happening currently? It's very difficult. This is a great comment. I'm not a weightlifter, but I have a general interest in fitness and enjoy Zach's channel. I run a fencing YouTube channel and I make highlight videos. This affects our sport really badly as we are incredibly reliant on the Olympics for funding and exposure. A large portion of high-level fencers rely on state funding in order to make a living from fencing. And if we were not in the Olympics, the money wouldn't be there. The Olympics always drive a lot of interest to the sport from people watching from their countries. Athletes win medals on the TV. The problem is once their interest is piqued, they search fencing Tokyo 2020. Pretty much nothing will come up. This is because the IOC doesn't upload matches, highlights, and copyright strikes anyone else who does. As a fan channel, it is basically impossible for me to cover the games in a time where a massive demand for Olympic content. I go to my channel analytics and see large amounts of traffic from people searching fencing Tokyo 2020, yet I can't tap into that demand because the smallest clip will be blocked, even if heavily edited. That is exactly what we are dealing with. 100%. That you might as well have just inserted weightlifting straight up and put Seb's channel, Weightlifting House, Sika Strength, or my channel. This is the time. This is when we need to be jumping on any possible interest in weightlifting. Creators, this is all I care about, is the sport of weightlifting. And this is the time when the most traffic is going to be going towards the snatch and the clean and jerk, and yet we can't provide them with any analysis or any talk about the Olympics. And I don't know. I'm wondering if this would have happened in prior Olympiads. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it was more readily available. But this is what's happening currently. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let's tap into that algorithm. Let's take this thing to the moon. Make sure you get on to my subreddit. Start posting there, start talking there, and I'll see you guys on the next one.